when Miss Shirley mama then started her OnlyFans. That little girl mama said, baby, I ain't clocking into nobody job.
Y'all some of the slowest, dumbest, stupidest motherfuckers I have ever seen in my life. And it's sickening. It's a disgrace. And it's the black ones. Y'all are sick.
We have a hypersexuality problem with this generation. Every parent, every pastor, every expert is pointing at social media and pornography. But I grew up with none of that. No internet, no access to pornography that I knew of. I guess the only thing at that time may have been Playboy magazines. Yet, our generation still had the same problem because the real root was already there. Long before any screen, it started in a quiet room with someone I trusted, and nobody caught it until one family member said something that changed everything. If you are a parent wondering where this behavior is coming from, this is for you. If you grew up in a home that looks safe on the outside and still carries something that started before you had words for it, this is for you.
I started to take on the persona of a person who eagerly sought out and wanted sex. Back then, sex feeling like it was my idea was very empowering to me. At least it felt that way. But in truth, none of these situations were ever about my own sexual happiness. Heck, I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know what that looked like. I was underage and, again, didn't really understand what sex was. And frankly, I wasn't being safe at all. I engaged in incredibly dangerous activity. I mean, I showed up at random locations. I got into strange cars. I didn't tell anyone what was going on. Not my friends, not my family. No one knew. I would put myself in incredibly dangerous situations, all for that fleeting feeling of intimacy that I felt when I would intuit that a man wanted to have sex with me, and I would bend and shape myself to make that happen. Because back then, I conflated my worth with whether or not men wanted to have sex with me. And when men desired me, it made me feel as though I had value. And every time they left, every time they closed that door, that feeling of worthlessness would rush right back. And I would go right back to repeating the cycle again. I put myself at risk and treated my body so callously, all to feel more powerful than I felt that night when that decision was taken away from me.
I am not going to point at this generation without being honest about my own, because I was that child. And what happened to me happened long before any of the things we blame today even existed. So let's talk about the real common denominator. What it was then and what it still is now, and what happens when no one ever stops it. By the end of this video, you will know how hypersexuality forms in children, what breaks it, and what it takes to bring a child back to their true value before the damage becomes permanent. Because a generation of young women who believe their only worth is their body, that did not start with a phone, the internet, or pornography. Most people think this starts with what children watch, but research shows it often starts with what happened to them before they even have language to describe it. I did not understand what I was doing. I had no concept of virginity, no concept of pregnancy. I was so young, those words meant nothing to me yet. I was too young for those words to have any meaning to me yet. But I had already learned, without anyone teaching me, that when you are alone with someone of the opposite sex, there is something you are supposed to do. That belief did not come from a screen. It came from what had already happened to me in private. Research calls it a sexual script, a set of beliefs a child absorbs about what sex means and what their role is in it. Once that script is written without correction, they carry it forward. Studies show children exposed to sexual abuse before the age of 7 have significantly elevated rates of hypersexual behavior. Not because something is wrong with them, but because no one replaced the wrong script with the right one. A child does not become hypersexual because they are evil or bad. They become hypersexual because what was done to them became what they believe was expected of them. I'm going to say that again. They became hypersexual because what was done to them became what they believe was expected of them. We always look outward to protect our children, strangers, the internet, the outside world. But for so many children, the exposure happens inside the home, inside the family circle, in moments adults created without realizing what they left behind. My parents were doing the right thing. They made my rebellious older cousin take me with her when she went out. In their minds, I was supervised. In reality, I was left alone in situations my cousin didn't even know were happening because she was busy doing what she wasn't supposed to be doing either, and I was just her cover. Nobody planned for that. Nobody saw it coming, but it happened. And this is how it happens in so many families today. Not through strangers, through gaps nobody registered as gaps. Social media and pornography have made everything worse, yes, but they did not create the problem. Sexual abuse and exploitation within family spaces has always been the common denominator. Social media just added to a fire already burning. They just added more kindle to the fire. The most dangerous place for a child is often the quiet, familiar place where no adult thinks anything could go wrong. My turning point did not come from therapy or program. It came from a cousin 2 years older than me, a male cousin. When I approached him the way I had been conditioned to, he stopped me cold. He rejected it firmly, clearly. And I respect that cousin, that male cousin, to this day. He is still such a man of high integrity, high moral standing and character. He's a real man. He told me, a little girl at 7 years old and he's just 9, he told me firmly and clearly. And then he asked me a question that I had never been asked. He said, "Who told you to do this? Who told you that this was expected of you?" That question changed everything. And he was not gentle. He was like a real man is supposed to be. He was strong, firm, and confrontational. And he told his mother, he got his mother involved, which was my aunt. And there was shame, real shame, like we need to bring back today. But it was not shame that was meant to destroy me. And see, that's the shame that we need today. Not the shame that destroys you as a person, but shame that redirected me, That shame redirected me. It landed on the behavior, not on me as a person. That is what shame is supposed to do. It's supposed to land on the behavior and not a person. And that difference matters more than most people know. Silence is not protection. Silence is permission. When no one addresses it, the child concludes the behavior is normal and what's expected. After that correction, something shifted in me. I stopped thinking about marriage because in my mind, that was the moral path of love. But then I stopped thinking about relationships altogether and started thinking about what a child should be thinking about at that time. What did I want to do with my life? What did I want to be? The types of things that a small child should be thinking of. And the moment I started asking those questions, even as I got older, I realized that focusing on sex before I even knew who I was not the direction I wanted my life to go. Some may ask, if God protected you, why did the abuse happen at all? Because God measured the degree and delivered me just in time. And that's enough for me. And what could have broken me is now being used to help someone else heal. So that makes it worth it. A child will not correct a belief they have never been told is wrong. Someone has to step in, speak up, and tell them. Your value goes far deeper than what was taken from you. The question was never just why this generation is hypersexual. The real question is, who stepped in to tell them they were worth more? Will it be you? I hope so. If this video moved you, like it, share it, and leave a thoughtful question below. Tell me how you believe hypersexuality has taken over our society and our young people. Tell me your story or how this topic caused you to ponder and to think. Because we've seen little girls where their mothers put them on the internet doing some of the provocative things that older women do. And that little girl is being written a script of how she's supposed to conduct herself and perform. And if no one stops it, they'll continue to think that's how she's supposed to perform.
So little Miss Shirley mama said, baby, I ain't never working again, okay? Little Miss Shirley mama then started her OnlyFans. That little girl mama said, baby, I ain't clocking in nobody's job again. I'm making my money off my baby. My baby gonna get paid and we gonna make this money.
Called DHS and told DHS and the police station all about the time I got a OnlyFans. It's a motherfucking fan page. It's not no OnlyFans. Y'all take this that y'all see on social media and run with it. Y'all some of the slowest, dumbest, stupidest motherfuckers I have ever seen in my life. And it's sickening. It's a disgrace. And it's the black ones. Y'all are sick. I had to go to the police station today. They did a fucking investigation asking me about the OnlyFans. Where people picking her up. Where do she only get booked at adult events?
So I want to say your words when we talk about this may be exactly what someone else needs to read in the comments today. I love you guys, and I want to share things that happened to me. My life isn't perfect. I've had a journey, but I'm still a work in progress. But I am so thankful for the things that God has brought me through in my youth and as an adult. And I just hope that my story and what I experienced will help you or someone close to you. I'm Deborah. This is Family Still Matters. And because family still matters, the children we protect today become the whole people who heal tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. And I want to leave you with the final word. I want to leave my videos with God's word, not my word as the final word. Always Him first, because no one says it better than God's word. In Jeremiah 1:5 and Jeremiah 31:3, it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and I have loved you." Know that. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and I have loved you with an everlasting love. Again, that is Jeremiah 1:5 and Jeremiah 31:3. May the Lord continue to richly bless you, and I'll see you next time. God bless.